I believe that Cam Skattebo from Arizona State University can be the next Pittsburgh Steeler powerback. Let me tell you why. First, the most important thing, Cam Skattebo. He carried the ball 709 times in college and has never fumbled the football, ever. Let that sink in. 709 times with an ultra physical running style and has never fumbled the football. Let's all look back when the Pittsburgh Steelers were about to beat the Philadelphia Eagles and Najee Harris just fumbles the ball without even getting touched, and it changed the course of the entire season, but that's a different video, so let me stick to the topic. If you look back to the Steelers' greats, let's go back as far as Merrill Hodge and Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis was 240 pounds. He ran a 4.740. Obviously, Cam doesn't weigh that much, but he weighs 220 pounds. Merrill Hodge, another guy who was about 220 to 230, depending on his weight, was ultra slow guy, ran a 4.840, but he had good vision. They both had excellent vision. Jerome Bettis had great, quick feet also, but Cam Skattebo, 5'10 to 5'11", 220 pounds, ran a 4.5840, jumped 39.5 inches, vertical leap at his pro day. Now, I was a little surprised that Cam, he jumped very, very well for a running back. Excellent jump. Usually guys run a little faster when they jump that high. And what that tells me is, I believe that his, what was perceived to be a slow 40 time as a technique issue. I think he would have run even faster if he worked on his technique more. Remember, the 40-yard dash has a lot to do with your technique. It's not like you're in your running back stance, hands on your knees, and just running. So if you got your hand too far back and they start the timer, or you step out off to the right instead of forward, it could take that 0.2 of a second off. If you watch Cam Skattebo's highlights, all you need to watch to let you know how good he actually is, just watch the Texas game. But if you need more reassurance, BYU, an ultra-physical defense, he tore them up too. Cam Skattebo, super ultra competitive, smash mouth, not afraid to be physical. His balance is incredible. He reminds me of Emmitt Smith. Then he has, I would say he has better than average speed. I think he would time faster if he worked on his technique. I'm not saying he didn't work on it, but I think when he ran it, something was off with his technique, and I base that off of how high he jumped in the vertical. Vertical leap and the 40-yard dash correlate hand in hand. Usually the higher a guy jumps, the better he runs. We all know that. So when you watch Cam Skattebo, the first thing you notice is his vision. Excellent vision. Not afraid of contact at all. And he does have breakaway speed. Excellent speed. Let's watch a little bit of the highlights from the Texas game. He's an excellent player.
Skattebo, there it is.
Nice jump
nice
cut.
Big hole for Cam Skattebo.
Look at that.
Who stays on his feet. Big bruising Cam. Jump play. Skattebo straight ahead. Driving
Touchdown, Skattebo. Arizona State.
On a big body of 320 pounds.
Just
They've
fighting.
been having success, again, running between the tackles here in the second.
Skattebo wrapped up, sent
Refuses
back,
to go down.
goes
Refuses
forward.
it.
Is he in? Yes.
Break all those tackles.
This is outrageous. Look at the power running here. That's a 335-pound defensive tackle.
I know those are only 2 clips, but if I played any longer, I'll get copyrighted. But you need to watch this entire game. Cam Skattebo had 30 carries versus Texas for 143 yards, 4.8 yards a carry, had 2 touchdowns. So when you go back in the time machine to the Steelers, they had powerback, what were considered powerbacks. Merrill Hodge, Jerome Bettis, slower guys who had excellent careers. The biggest thing about Cam Skattebo that is underestimated is his desire to prove that he's an NFL running back. To beat him, you're going to have to literally kill him. And it shows in his play. After the game versus Texas, I watched this entire game. Every single player on the Texas team tried to find him to shake his hand to tell him what a great player he is. When you are respected by your peers like that, it says it all. You don't have to listen to ESPN. You don't need to listen to the media. The chip on his shoulder is tremendous. All last year, the Steelers couldn't get an inch, a yard. Versus the Browns in the snow, they couldn't get a yard. Not 1 yard. Changed the whole dynamics of the game. You have Cam Skattebo in that game versus the Browns, I guarantee you he picks up those first downs. Cam Skattebo, you're going to be able to get him later in the rounds. I think that people are onto him. I don't think he'll be around forever. Do I think he's worth a second-round pick, a third-round pick, fourth round? Definitely fourth round. He's going to slip out of the first round. This type of value, this type of player, I guarantee when, like after the drafts and after the season, and then they do these drafts, how it should have went, how the draft should have went. After Cam Skattebo goes to the NFL, and we look at how productive he was, he's going to get a grade of a first-round player. First rounder. I guarantee it. If you look at BYU, who absolutely dismantled Shedeur Sanders, I mean, I know they're different positions. Still, you're going against their defense. Cam Skattebo slapped them around. He ran all over them. Super physical, better speed than people think, great athleticism, great vision. He really reminds me of Emmitt Smith and Danny Woodhead put together. Has nothing to do with race. He can also catch the ball in the backfield. Danny Woodhead was a great pass catcher out of the backfield, and he was also great at pass blocking for a smaller back. And Cam Skattebo brings all these things. This player is a Pittsburgh Steeler. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to take him behind the scenes. If you understand the Steelers and their mentality and Art Rooney II and Mike Tomlin, Coach Tomlin, this is their type of player. And I think it's going to work. I think Cam Skattebo is going to be a super productive player in the NFL. I mean, if you get a great regardless of what stage the Steelers' offensive line is right now, it's still the best line that Cam Skattebo has ever ran behind. And I think he's going to be an excellent pick. Let's watch Cam Skattebo's vertical jump at the combine.
Vertical jump, 39 and a half. Vertical jump, 39 and a half.
Again, usually guys that jump that well run better. So I think what is perceived to him having a slow 40 time has something to do with his technique more than speed. And, there's been different reports. Some people say Cam ran a 4.56, 4.58, 4.6. What's the difference? I don't care. Going back to Merrill Hodge, a guy that was 5'10", 220 to 235, ran a 4.84. Jerome Bettis, 240 pounds, ran a 4.7. Cam is faster. He's not a small guy. He's compact, great vision, Emmitt Smith-like type running back. Let's look at his pass-catching numbers. In 2024, Cam Skattebo carried the ball for the Arizona State Sun Devils 293 times, rushed for 1,711 yards, averaged 5.8 yards a carry, 21 touchdowns, a long TD of 53, receptions, 45 receptions for 605 yards, averaged 13.4 yards a reception, 3 touchdowns, and his longest pass receiving touchdown was 66 yards. 2023, he had 24 receptions for 286 yards, 11.9 yards of reception, 1 touchdown, and again, his longest TD reception was 66 yards. I'm not going to get into when he was at San Jose State, but Cam Skattebo has played great football. He averaged 5.8 yards a carry at Arizona State University in 2024. In 2023, he averaged 4.8 yards a carry. In 2022, 7 yards a carry. And in 2021, 9.1 yards a carry. What does this tell us? He likes physical, smash mouth, AFC North football. I want to see him in the black and gold. Chip on his shoulder. A lot to prove. Smash mouth. The fans will get behind him. They'll love him. They'll love his style of play, his determination, putting the team first. No indications that he's going to be a headache. He's going to come, do everything right, and prove that he belongs in the NFL and possibly a future NFL Hall of Famer.